fight for women and their right to make decisions about their own body in consultation with their physician, with their God, with their priest, with their rabbi. But you know, when we look at a law like what's happening in Alabama, and they're saying they're going to sentence a doctor to 99 years, as a prosecutor, let me tell you, I got a real problem with that. I have a real problem with that.
Last hour, during an eventful MSNBC town hall, presidential candidate Kamala Harris also laid out a proposal that would require states to get approval for changes to future abortion laws.
When elected, I'm going to put in place and require that states that have a history of passing legislation that is designed to prevent or limit a woman's access to reproductive health care, that those laws have to come before my Department of Justice for a review and approval, and until we determine that they are constitutional, they will not take effect.
That sounds like it needs 60 votes in the United States Senate.
You know what? Everything that we need to do is going to require 60 votes in the United States Senate, which is why I would say to everybody, 2020 is about the White House. It's also about the United States Senate.
All of this as the Supreme Court upheld an Indiana law requiring that abortion providers bury or cremate fetal remains. But the court left in place lower court rulings invalidating a measure that would prevent a woman from having an abortion based on a fetus's gender or race or genetic disorder. Here to talk about this and more, we welcome to our broadcast Beth Pfui, a veteran of the campaign trail, specifically of the Associated Press. These days, happily, she is NBC News senior politics editor, and Laura Barón-López back with us, national political reporter for Politico. Welcome to you both. Beth, just to come off the conversation we had with the congressman, for those waiting on the Nadler Committee, who may be frustrated at the pace post-Mueller report, is this the issue that Democrats were waiting for?
Well, the issue that Democrats were waiting for is something to galvanize women, and certainly that is what we're seeing with this current crisis, one could call it, in the courts. We have, of course, on the Democratic side, women being the heart and soul of the Democratic Party. Women came out in 2018 in huge numbers, many of whom had voted for Republicans in the past, white women, women in the suburbs, college educated, who flipped, voted for Democrats. That's what Democrats are counting on this time, was to bring those women back who might typically vote for a Republican, a different type of Republican than Donald Trump, but that will be galvanized to vote for Democrats for a variety of reasons, and certainly reproductive health being one of them.
How do you think Kamala Harris did tonight?
Kamala Harris was strong. This was a good issue for her because this is the theory of Kamala Harris's case in this large field, that she, as a woman and a woman of color, is going to reach out and appeal to those women and women of color who will form the backbone of this Democratic electorate and will probably choose the nominee. Her people feel that she is uniquely positioned to do that. So when an issue comes along like this that plays very much into her theory of the case, she grabbed on it effectively.
Laura, same questions to you about this issue and about the performance we witnessed tonight.
Right. Well, Harris definitely tried to come out strong on the abortion issue. It's something that a number of Democrats have tried to own since the passage of the really restrictive abortion laws in Alabama and other southern states. And one thing to note about that plan that she unveiled tonight was that it's modeled after the Voting Rights Act. So that, again, speaks to her play to try to speak to minorities and women of color, something that she hopes separates her from people like Biden, who's preaching more of a return to normalcy and is trying to focus on rural white voters.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.